I'm Belinda Sandor, also known as Rocket Girl. Today, we're going to talk about better client communication. Hi, everybody. I'm Belinda Sandor, also known as Rocket Girl. And today we're going to talk about better client communications. So I want you to think about this. When you're a virtual assistant, you're going to be working with a lot of different people, right? A lot of different clients, and they're going to have different backgrounds. They're going to have different communication styles. And sometimes, especially in the beginning, it can be difficult to navigate these waters if you've never met in person, right? So what I've learned is that there are ways that I can help client communication be better with my clients, and I'm going to share those tips with you here today. So come on in, tell me where you're coming in from. And if you were watching the replay, welcome as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so there's 4 areas we're going to talk about today. The first one is email writing, okay? Now, I think a lot of people, they sit down, they write an email, and they just send it, right? Boom. But I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. I want you to look at what you've written, think back on it, and I want you to consider these questions, okay? Will they understand your language, or are your sentences filled with jargon? Okay, that's number 1. Have you reread any instructions to make sure you didn't miss a step? So if you're telling a client, I want to help you update the footer in your Word document. They didn't ask you to do it. They asked you how to do it. You want to go through and think, okay, this is one step and this, and make sure you have all the steps in there, okay? Now, think about, are the paragraphs in the order that make the most sense to the reader? Right? So it might be that your brain is jumping all over the place and you're thinking this and this and something else, and you want to put everything in there, but make sure the paragraphs are in the right order for what makes sense to the reader. And then the last thing in terms of email is make sure the tone is right. Are you being friendly, polite, concise? Are there words you can take out? Are there words you can put in? I know a big one for me is I will use the word it or that, which is not really always descriptive. So when you're writing an email, instead of saying, please sign this and send it back, please sign the contract on the last page and send it back. So you can see what a big difference that can make, right? So email is really important. And when you are thoughtful in your email communication, it lets people know that you care. A lot of us are people pleasers, and in a people pleasing moment, we might send an email, really quickly, trying to help, trying to get it right away, instead of really thinking through. And sometimes what will happen is when I'm writing an email to a client, if I have a question, I'll figure it out while I'm writing the email, because I'll start thinking, okay, well, what am I trying to ask them? And that's very satisfying when that's how I do, when that's how I do the problem solving. So email writing, really important, really important. Jargon especially. And what I mean by jargon is a word that's not common, that you might not, they might not know the answer, because here's the thing, none of us like to look like we don't know what we're doing, and sending jargon email to a client doesn't make us look smart. It makes them feel like they don't know what's going on. So that's why you don't want to do that. Okay, good. Let's talk about email reading. Okay, email reading. Now, here is a trick that I use that's really important. When I get an email from a client, very often there's no please or thank you. They're in a hurry. They're not doing what I just taught you in trick number 1, right? They're just like, got to get the thing done. So I read it in my head with the nicest possible voice, okay? I read it with the nicest possible voice, and I put in the pleases and thank yous in my head, because I know that the majority of my clients are wonderful, fabulous people who want to work with me. They want me to be happy. They want to be happy, but sometimes they don't run their emails through that filter. Okay. So, and sometimes their emails can be confusing. So I read them slowly and I really think about what are they trying to say, And they don't always use, they frequently use it or this or that. And I have to figure out what that is. So I spend a few minutes doing that to be in service of them, to try to help them, help me figure out what they'd like me to do. Because there's nothing worse than, just hitting the ball back. Like, well, what do you mean by that? Give it some thought. Definitely give it some thought, and give the sender the benefit of the doubt. It could be that, they're reading your email and or they're sending this email standing in line at the train, to get a ticket, thinking, thank goodness Belinda's there to help me with this because I'm really, going crazy. So think about that. Okay. Email reading, nicest possible voice. Now, when you're just starting out, this is something that can happen. But the more you practice number 1 and 2, the less this will happen. You want to make sure that you're using language that they understand. And I still do this sometimes. A client will say, I'd like to do a webinar, and I'll make an assumption that they know what I'm talking about. And I'll talk in VA language, and I'll say things like, okay, so we need an opt-in page. We're going to need a thank you page. We're going to need a sequence, of emails that go out. We'll have to get the link, and I'll start doing that. And then I look at their face and I think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. And so then I just stop and I'll say, you know what? I bet I wasn't being clear. I was talking in jargon. Let me start over. Okay. When we have a webinar, we need a place for people to read about it, and decide whether or not they want to attend, and a way for them to register. And you can tell them most of the time they don't care. I had a client yesterday conversation, and she said, so often people try to explain to me what it is they're doing to help me. My assistants do that, and I don't want to know. I just want to know, like, how can we do this? And not in a bad way, just in a, like, she's not going to understand it. She doesn't care. And I have things like that too. I go to get my car fixed and they try to explain to me how the carburetor works. I just want to know, do I really need it? Do I need it now? How much does it cost? And how long will it last? Like, that's all I want to know. And then Greg says, yes, that's right. I'm like, great. So think about that. All right. Think about that. Talking shop. So make sure that you're using language that they'll understand. And it's much more difficult to do that. Right? It's much easier to say sales page opt-in sequence than to really use your words as, we would say to young kids or even grown-ups, when you were trying to understand what it is that they're talking about. All right. So we've got Frederica. Hello, hello, hello. We've got Maria. Good morning. Tammy. Good morning. Good morning from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, and from the UK. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. The next thing I want to talk about is making your hours clear. And what I mean by that is, knowing your sort of policies and your preferences, because sometimes clients are going to email you at night or on the weekends. And sometimes they'll send me, things while I'm on vacation. That's okay, right? Because the thing is that it took me a while to realize this, because at first I was like, I was thinking, don't they know that I'm not working? Why are they sending me this? And then I had this huge realization. It was like, the heavens parted, and I thought, oh, that doesn't mean they want me to work. It means they're working. And then as I started the VA connection, I work a lot on the weekends, getting our stuff organized. And I send everything to my team on Sundays, Mondays, night, weekends, whenever. And I don't expect them to do that right then. It's just when I'm doing it. So keep that in mind. In fact, I spend a lot of time when a new team member comes on to the VA connection saying to them, here's a request. I'm not asking you to do it right now. Like Monday, Tuesday is good, but really, really making that clear, because what happens is when we don't do this, we're trying to please our clients, because at the heart of being a VA is pleasing, right? We're people, we're helpers, and we set the tone that we're available all the time. And then we have giant issues with boundaries and all kinds of things like that. Okay. So just remember and celebrate this. Okay. So this was the big aha for me. When work is, coming in over the weekend and Friday afternoons, I'm thinking, oh no. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to be busy next week. Oh, I have enough billable hours for next week. Yay. So when we're overwhelmed, we might get grumpy about work coming in. But remember, that's what we want. We want the work to come in, and we want our biggest problem to be prioritizing and figuring out, how to get it all done, because that's really a sign of a successful VA business. Okay, good. So let's see who else has joined us. So Heather's here. Hello, Heather. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Linda. Nice to see you here. And Clara is here from St. Lucia. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. I have to say the VA Connection has been, it's been a global community for a long time, and we have members in 47 countries. It's been more recent that students in VA school and in the VIP club are from all over. We have people from Ghana and Romania and St. Lucia and the UK, and this last time Finland, and we have Frederica's in Holland. We're really a global community, and that makes it so much fun to get to know each other, in the groups, and to have friends literally all over the world. Okay, good. All right, before we go, I just want to let you know that we are doing it again. I cannot get enough of the VA Client Kickstart Challenge. So much fun. We've started to prepare. We're getting everything ready. We're kicking off on January 16th. So if you don't know about the VA Client Kickstart Challenge, it's a free it's like an extravaganza. It's like an extravaganza. So it's a free 5-day training. It's a challenge where I'm going to teach you exactly how to get a steady stream of clients in your business. Okay. So sign up at what does it say there? vachallenge.info. Sign up at vachallenge.info. Join the Facebook group. We're just starting to get things rolling. It's about a month away, and there's a lot of value that you can get between now and when we kick off. If you've done it before, sign up again. The more, the merrier. The more, the merrier. So do that, and we'll get 2023 off to a really solid start for you. Okay, this is a great way to do that. Get the kids back in school. Get yourself organized. The 16th will roll around, and you can, really get into action. So thank you for joining me for the RocketGirl Show. We do this every Thursday at the same time at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. If you're watching the replay, thank you. And until next time, I'm Belinda Sandor, Rocket Girl, signing off. Bye for now.